Transcribe. Today I'm going to give you a brief run through on how to get started with kiyânaw Transcribe. Let me get that out of the way. So when you first start up, you might not notice anything. When you come in here, you won't see any transcriptions. So kiyânaw Transcribe is a system where you can upload your own audio or video and you can start to work on that transcription. So we can start off by going to add new, and I'm going to pick a file from my desktop here, just a really quick test file. I've got an MP4. We're working to support more formats. MOV and MP4 will work. We're expanding our format support daily, and there's a few different audio formats that already work, but if you have any trouble with that, you can reach out to us through support up in the corner here. If you click on that, it gives you a few ways to get a hold of us. So I'm just going to call this test upload, and we'll let that upload real quick. All right, and as soon as that upload completes, we will automatically process the media file that you've uploaded a little bit in the background, and we will extract the audio temporarily to build out this waveform, the waveform that you see here. So the video still is available. We can see down in the corner right here, there's a little button. It'll probably show up as a thumbnail, and it may show up on this side. So there's a few controls here for the thumbnail. If you want to make the thumbnail a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, you can click on those controls. You can hide the thumbnail completely, and you can pop it back in here. I can move it to the left and the right corners. And if I click the circle in the middle, that's going to give me a full screen view of the thumbnail there. And from there, clicking on the thumbnail, if I don't have a region selected, it'll just play, but if I have a region selected, it will just play that region. So I'll click down here in the bottom, and that'll close that up. I usually keep that closed for now. So there's a few features here that I want to outline. The core feature in this is in the timeline. If we click and drag in the timeline, it will create a region for us right here in the region list. And as soon as I click that region, it's going to play back that region for me. And with that, I can start to type in what I'm hearing for that particular region in this text box right here. There's actually two text boxes. There's the target language, and then there's also a translation, so that if you want to, you can add both texts into the transcription. So this is typically the process. Create a new box, play back the audio, and then type in what you hear here. And so I will continue. You can continue this process right to the end of your transcription. So a few more controls that we should talk about. Once you, with the waveform player, you can scroll side to side in order to access more of the waveform. You can also use these controls down here. This will zoom in and out of the waveform if we want to see more or less. Sometimes it's nice to be able to see a little bit more. And if we click on the icon, that'll sort of reset to the middle setting. And then the same with this setting over here. We can adjust this if we want to slow down the playback a little bit to be able to, if maybe we have a really fast speaker, we can slow that down a bit, and then again, clicking the icon will reset that. If we have a region selected, so once we pick a region, then that will select the region and give us these text boxes to work with here. And that gives us a few controls over on the left side. So this first control will just play that region. All right, this control will deselect the region so that we can, if there are issues in the transcription, it will show us all of the issues. And then obviously the last button, if we want to delete a region, will be prompted with that if we want to get rid of one. And then the next thing we'll talk about is issues. We may run into a problem area within the transcription. So the next thing we're going to want to be able to do is to create an issue. That's going to let us come back to that area later on. Maybe we can't make out what's being said, and maybe it's a little too fast. Maybe we just don't know the word. And so we can select a piece of text in one of the regions in the target language, and that's going to make available for us this little button right here, the issue button. And as soon as we click that, that's going to create an issue for that region specifically and also highlight that text. And so from there, if we click on that, we can comment on it and have discussion on that. But otherwise, it'll just help us keep track. If we have multiple issues within a transcription, then later on we can come back and we can see the list of issues that we've created. And if we get the opportunity to sit down with other mentors, other learners, or even perhaps the original speaker and say, you know, what was it that you said here? This is just sort of a way of keeping track some of the problem areas that we run into in the transcription. So lastly, let's talk about some of the settings that are available. So if we click up here where the title is of the transcription, and we pop that open, that's going to bring us to transcription settings, where we can change the title and add a comment if we want. We do have spell checker support for Nihiu and Plains Cree dialect and experimental support for Northern Michif. We are adding additional language support soon, quite soon. We also have access to, once you get in here, you have the opportunity to share your transcription with others. So if you want to, because all transcriptions are private by default, then you can send an invite to somebody to come and collaborate on that transcription, and you can invite them as either a viewer or an editor. You just drop their email address in there and click send invite, and they'll get an email saying, hey, come check this out. We want to collaborate with you. And then lastly, obviously, down here you can delete your transcription if you decided that you don't want it in the system anymore, or you uploaded the wrong file or something. If you hit delete, then it will just wipe it out from the system. And that's it. That's a really basic introduction into kiyânaw Transcribe. We're really excited that you're here and trying the system out. And if you run into any problems along the way, click on that support button, and we give you a few different options to reach out to us. And we hope to hear from you soon. Okay, have a great day.